Welcome to the 2021 Economic Depression and Preparation channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday edition, October 5th, 2021. Thank you for subscribing, and I appreciate all of my subscribers. Please be sure to tell your friends, neighbors, cohorts, and chums that this is the place for the truth about the financial news in the United States. Not always gloom and doom. There is positive news in the midst of our daily struggles. But just to let you know that this is the place, preach to me, for the daily news. And so today we're going to be talking about two things. Hyperinflation continues. Shipping lanes continue to be clogged but somewhat improved. And also we're getting ready for going to the fall and winter season, and that means more black swan events that could be happening in the United States and beyond the United States as well, with China, Russia perhaps, maybe a country that we haven't even talked about yet. So let's get right into it, guys. The positive news today, I wanted to mention that the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccines have been making a positive impact on the rate of hospitalizations and deaths. Positive news, according to MarketWatch.com, and treatments in the U.S., weighs against Russia's latest record death day toll. So in Russia, apparently they had another spike. But with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, as booster says, is 94% effective against COVID-19 in the latest data. And AstraZeneca seeks FDA authorization for antibody treatment, the monoclonal antibody treatment. So that's great news. Hopefully things will get back to somewhat of a normal type of economy here. But guys, you have to remember that the economy was struggling before the pandemic began, in March 2020. And so we're almost 2 years into this pandemic, and the economy has not recovered. The job numbers are still horrendous. We're still losing 300,000 jobs, and that's going to take a long time to recover, even if the pandemic does go away in the next, we'll say next year, at the end of next year. But this is going to be like the flu. I think most of you guys know, the flu has many strains. Well, Corona is going to have many strains and variants, and this is going to be a daily thing, a daily booster shot requirement. That you can predict it. I can confidently say that's going to be the case with this Corona, COVID. That they're going to do daily, yearly boosters type of thing, like they do with the flu shot, which should be pretty effective. But still, there's this outlying cases that people could still get sick even with the vaccines and the boosters and things of that nature, because we don't know. It's not 100% perfect yet. And so that's something to keep in mind. But the good news is deaths are down, hospitalizations are down, and there's some places, of course, in Europe, and other places that are still dealing with a lot of outbreaks, but things are getting better with different therapies now that they're using. So you see the global data here. 700,000 deaths in the U.S. Reported cases 43 million plus. Global cases 235 million plus out of 8 billion people that we have in the world. So things are coming down. So that's good. Alaska, Montana, North Dakota, West Virginia, they lead the way here with average cases, and then we're going down to the Midwest and other states here. So that's according to Johns Hopkins University survey. But now on to the main news here. Yellen sees inflation staying higher for the next several months. Well, tell us something that we don't know. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen cautioned Tuesday that inflationary pressures will likely let up eventually. She says eventually, that's the key word there, but that doesn't mean it'll go away over the next several months. Try the next several years. We're looking at this high inflationary numbers throughout the first term of President Biden. This is lasting to late 2023. I predict. We're talking until at least November, December 2023 before the inflationary pressures subside. She goes on to say, quote, "I trust that the Fed will make the right decisions," he said. "We have been hit by an incredibly unusual shock." Well, that's a lot of faith in our banking system. But the bottom line is the inflation has been running over 3.6%. And they often use the word transitory, as the article notes. But real inflation right now is around 8 to 9% and growing fast. And I told you by the end of the year, real inflation will be above 10%. And so far, everything is coming true. We only have about a little over 2 months left in the year. And these things is really going to accelerate because of the money printing that's been going on in the past. Prices of goods and services have gone up, and we've all seen that. And so we've got 2 more years to deal with this type of inflationary shock before we go into a deflationary spiral, depressionary spiral. And that's my prediction, my personal prediction on this thing. But, there's so many different variables that's going on. Like I said, the job market numbers come out Friday. And economists had expected payrolls to increase by 500,000. They're watching wage gains closely for signs of future inflation. So that's what we're looking at with that. The next financial crisis is fast approaching, ladies and gentlemen. Central banks has to prepare because global stock markets and real estate are overvalued, according to this report by MarketWatch.com today. while leverage is near record levels for households, corporations, banks, and governments. In other words, banks, governments, corporations, personal households were all cash starved. Okay, well, we're in a liquidity crisis. At the same time, central banks have the money, and the top 1% of this country has the money. They're sitting on cash. They don't know what to do with the cash, and some of the corporations that are doing these shipping warehouses are full with supplies from China and elsewhere, and they're sitting on it. They don't know where to sell it. They can't sell it fast enough because there's not that much demand. Obviously, because of the pandemic, people are saving. They're building, prepping, for different things like that. So, and with real estate being overvalued, that is the last three bastions. The last three bastions to fall for the U.S. economy is the real estate bubble, housing bubble as we like to call it, both commercial and of course private, the stock market bubble, which is based on derivatives and a bunch of money printing, and then the other last bubble to fall was the US dollar itself losing the world reserve currency. That's going to take a little while longer. That may be closer to the 2030 deadline, maybe Agenda 2030 that all you guys have been hearing about. So I think the dollar still has a little bit more life left. They can keep pumping it up probably to about 2026, 2025, as we get closer, pushed over toward the 2025 to 2030 deadline, the dollar will be all used up past its lifespan, and that's when we're going to go completely cashless, completely digital, ladies and gentlemen, under the new world order, whatever that may be, whatever shape that may take, that's what's going to be going on. The social economy is like we would call it, the social credit score. Speaking of social credit scores, you guys have seen this. Facebook was down yesterday. WhatsApp and Instagram were down after an outage. And, guys, I don't use it too much. I don't use Facebook too much, but I do use Instagram a lot, to promote stuff. And of course, WhatsApp to talk to a lot of friends, international friends, or people in the United States too. And I was like, man, I knew something was up because it just kept saying connecting on WhatsApp. I didn't see the person's name. I didn't see their status. And I said, I kept turning off my phone and turning it back on. I thought maybe the network went down, the 5G or whatever. Turns out it was down. I'm sure all you guys are doing the same thing. And this just goes to show you that even though we're in this digital world and we're all connected, and all this has made the world a smaller place and a better place. If it goes down, can you still communicate face to face with someone, or through sign language or whatever, language you speak in? It just goes to show you how challenging things are when how things go off the grid. Facebook says the outage was caused by, quote, routine maintenance. They have a bunch of servers and things that was going on, DNS issues, the name server issues that was going on. The engineers said that was gonna, that took them out. But that just goes to show you, and how one company controls the monopoly, controls much of the information. As you know, Facebook owns WhatsApp. They bought out Instagram. They bought out a lot of private app developers to make all of this conglomeration works. And it shows you that if one system goes down, all of it goes down like dominoes. Very much like this globalism economy that we're in. If America goes weaker and we go down, well, most of the rest of the world is going to suffer too, because everybody has to have somebody to sell their goods to. China, Russia, India, all the developing nations, and the G8 nations of Europe, the G20 nations, Italy, Japan, Germany, all those big economies, they have to have someone to sell their goods and services to at the heart of a basic economy. That's the whole heart of it. Production is at the heart of a basic economy, according to Ray Dalio. And not only him, but others. That's a lot of people that listen to Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, same thing. Production, enterprise, entrepreneurship, that's at the heart. Small businesses, that's at the heart of any economy. And so we have to take all that into consideration when we look at these things about these outages. We have these outages here. Instagram users are still reporting issues. Facebook users are reporting issues of Instagram pictures not loading. This is the worst outage since 2008, ironically. And 2008 was the year we had the financial crisis. And this is the Monday's outage, yesterday's outage impacted 3 billion users worldwide. Okay, 3 billion out of 8 billion people in this world were impacted. Just that. So it just brings the importance of us in the prepping community and also in the financial news community to really think about alternative ways. When these things go down, how are we going to communicate with each other through radio, walkie-talkie? What are our comms going to be like? What are our preps going to look like? How we have to go back to the old-fashioned way of being able to talk to each other over the dinner table or over lunch or whatever, face to face, because that's going to become crucial when these systems go down, banking systems, information systems, because they're all connected under the same servers, the same people, the same teams here. So I just want to bring that to your attention too as well today. But back to the main news, like I said, this economy will continue to go down, and that's not always a bad thing. There's still money to be made in depressions. That's all I'm trying to say. UPS was started in a depression. Ford Motor Company was started during the depressionary time. So there's money to be made with people, even if we're going into a depression or a slowdown. You just have to know where to look. Keep a positive attitude. Pray. Prayer and meditation helps tremendously to keep us calm and sane in these times as we go into the first couple of innings of this collapse. We haven't gotten there yet. We're getting there, as you can see, with the shipping lanes, and there's still over there's over 80 shipping boats still stuck off the coast of Long Beach waiting to come in. So once the supply gets gluttony and once the inflation stops and we go into a super deep deflationary spiral after 2023, and that's when things are really going to get bad, because there's just not going to be enough supplies and enough demand to carry the United States through this time around. And we're due for a depression. It's been 90 years almost since the first depression. And so that, according to the natural business cycle, we're due for that depression to come. And that's fine. I think we'll be fine. We will survive. We're hardy people. We're Americans. We will survive. But it's just going to be a change of pace to see long lines and queues in this country, and the infrastructure deteriorating at such a rapid pace than what we're used to. So stay prepared, everyone. Be prepared. I know I wasn't going long this today. I just want to let you know I'm back and that I'm here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. God bless you the rest of this day. And I'll see you later on for Hump Day Wednesday. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.